Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and it's just lovely to see the chat going here. It's really nice to see you all again. We got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, we got Mark Anning, Lair Hater left a message earlier, Trina's Techno Babbles here, Chris Angelis is here, Gut Bomb, Mac 84 woke up just for this stream. I'm honored, Mac 84. Good to see you. Garth Beagle's here. Lazy Blue Goat is here. Eric Helgeson is here. All Things DG. Jack68K. Wow, lots of folks are here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We got some work to do, and today. Make sure to check that out. Oh, and while I'm talking, make sure to let me know if my sound is okay. I made a little bit of adjustment. I did some quality control, so I added a compressor to my my audio, so hopefully we won't get that little popping from the maxing out. But anyway, behind me here, we got a computer that obviously has some VRAM problems, but that's not the topic of today's stream. We've currently gone through 61 cycles of Snooper 2. This is my Macintosh IIci. It's currently closed because we're doing testing. Who else is here? Retro Viator, hello. Rudy's Retro Intel, Eric's Edge, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming by. So you can see we have a voltmeter here. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit. This is part of our jank for today. I know how y'all love some jank. And so you can see in the thumbnail that I had a IIci with this little, it was kind of like a pattern to make it look like a Quadra 700, because we're going to be working on some Quadra 700 power supplies today. So this was on the front, but I had to take it off to allow the air vents to breathe. Bree Standard, hello. Rodvel, hello. So what I want to do today, we got these sexy Noctua fans, right? And if I hold my microphone up, the IIci isn't that bad. The IIci really isn't that bad, but I went to go use my PowerMac 7100, and the fan in that thing is disgusting. So I was like, let's change it with a Noctua, but I wanted to test it to actually make sure it's okay. So what we're doing is we're temperature testing. So I have the original fan in. Let's zoom out just a skosh. There we go. And what I have here is I don't have a really nice thermal probe, but I did have some thermistors. And so I wired up the thermistor, and let me show you spreadsheets, because I know everyone loves spreadsheets, right? So what I did was I took the thermistor and I exposed it to different temperatures. And I used a water bath. If you have a ultrasonic bath, you can use your ultrasonic bath to set these. I like to validate it with another thermometer. So as the thermistor increased in temperature, the resistance went down, and this is in kilo ohms. And so we made a little plot, we got a trend line, we used logarithms. Hopefully one bit can show up today, or someone else that's good at math can explain how to rearrange your equations with natural logs. And then we created a little equation that says for a particular kilo ohm, what's our temperature? And so that's what we're doing here. So this morning when I started, our kilo ohm reading was 13.6. Our temperature in Celsius was 14.62, 58 in here. I had the heater going for a while, and I realized that the heater actually is going to impact this a lot. And so after an initial boot, it warmed up a little bit. After 1.5 hours, it warmed up even more. And as soon as I shut it down, the temperature went up because the fan stopped spinning. So it shows you that we're getting some stuff here, that it's accurate. This thing is accurate enough to sense these temperature differences. But I shut my heater off and it got colder in here. But the temperature is sort of stabilized now that the temperature is going up outside. And this has been going for about an hour. I checked it a little while ago. It was 11.02. We're going to make this 11. We're at 11.09 right now if we go back to our scene. So our power supply is currently at 20.82 degrees. I'll show you where that is. I'll show you where the probe goes. So what we're going to do is replace the regular power supply fan with a Noctua, run this test, let this go for a while we work on Tech Ambrosia's Quadra 700 power supplies, and then we'll do that. So Garth asked, did you take into consideration the rotational speed of the Earth? No, I did not. I did not do that. Yeah, so we did some math. We got spreadsheets, we got math. We also have I found out today from doing this that my video card that I have in my IIci has apparently lost some VRAM. And so that's gonna have to be fixed at some point. Was not expecting to have to deal with that. Okay, so if we shut this off, yeah, you can see that this going, as the resistance goes down, the temperature goes up. And so we can see with the fan getting shut off that our temperature is starting to go up a lot here. So let's do this swap. Who else just showed up? We got Bacchus. Hello, Bacchus. Good to see you, man. Okay. So if you have one of these, I like to take my tweezers, and there's a little tab down at the bottom here. I should also mention, so this IIci has 64 megs of RAM, which makes it last, but take forever to boot. This is a MicroMac Carrera040 with a full fat 68040 in there with a cache card. This was a really awesome random find. I went to buy a bunch of what were they? What did I buy? Oh, shoot, what the heck was it? I bought, oh, it was Commodore 64. Commodore 64 logic boards, the power or motherboards that somebody had disassembled. And so they were just a bunch of parts boards. And while I was there, he's like, hey, do you want any of this other stuff? And I was like, yes, yes, I do. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see it real clear, so let's take the fan out. One of the nice things about these Ace Tech, and actually this GE that we're going to be working on, so the one that's in here is an Ace Tech AA15830. I recapped this at some point, but all you have to do to get the fans out of these is these two little tabs right here. Lift them and get this thing up. Now, we're going to see later that putting the rest of the power supply together can be an ordeal. And so we just lift that out, and we got our fan. All right, so let's see if you can see. Nope, you can't see. And I'm not going to cram my finger in there because this was just on, and you never want to take a chance with a power supply. Again, never do what we do here in the BigBadBench. But basically, behind this coil or transformer is a heatsink, and I chose that location for the temperature probe because it's kind of blocked by the heatsink. So that's sort of a worst case scenario. It's right up against the heatsink next to a, I don't know, MOSFET or a diode or something. I don't know what that particular part is right there. But it's something that makes warm. So, yeah. All right, so to get this off, theoretically, all we have to do, take that little clip that way, take that little clip that way. There you go. Fan is out. So this was a NMB 0.12 amp. Do a little dusting on this. Yeah, and you can see as we as this has been sitting, the resistance is going down, which means that the temperature is going up. It's sort of stabilized right now. I was served a lot of life to the face. Do you still want to send me? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. You putting a HEPA filter with the new fan? No, we won't do that. All right, so let's check with one of these other fans just to make sure that we put our fan in the same orientation so we're not conflating our variables even more. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna do this guy. Okay, so that kind of needs to go through there. We might have to take off some of this shielding. Oh, neat. That was my hometown. Very cool. So aside from the engineering, these fans have like a little rubberized mounts. That theoretically should help with the noise. Skosh. I don't know if it's actually going to fit. Yeah, they fit in there. Yeah. Oh, nope. Oh, no. Oh, no. I crammed it inside there. Don't cram it inside there. Make sure that little snappy deal's on the outside. Put your snappy deals on the outside. Yes, Trina, these fans sure make a fashion statement. Okay, so then if we look at our fan, black is obviously negative. The yellow here is going to be our positive. And so if we look down inside here, we actually have to mount this the wrong way compared to how it was in there. Well, that's annoying as heck. Okay, so let's do a thing here. Yeah, this fan will probably be in ludicrous speed. So the thing about Noctua is they're nice and they're relatively quiet by themselves, but they also give you like little adapter things to make them even quieter. Come on. Come on. So what I'm doing is just trying to, there we go. Got to make sure to really push those little tabs down. There we go. All right, so I'm going to take our yellow, make that one our first. Take our black and make that one our second. There we go. Okay, now we're just gonna have two little, oh, I guess I didn't have to take both of those out. Oh yeah, I'm totally back in the game here. All right, let's put those back in there just so that they're not flopping around inside of our power supply. All right. So there, we now have our fan wired up properly. It's gonna fit on that jack. Just like stock. This is like a smooth replacement for the original. Oh, and I did that way wrong. All right. Let's see. This goes like this. There we go. This is how it should go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. It literally has gone from suck to blow. Thank you for pointing that out, Garth. Okay, there. Now we're clicked in. Our wire goes the right place. Okay, that was easy. All right, and if you have one of these power supplies, make sure to recap it. There are probably 5 REFAs in there. I think mine had 6. Tech Ambrosia's, I think, only had 5. All right, we'll set you aside. Oh, that's hers. Okay, now let's see if this thing chimes again. Three, 2, 1. So here's the noise. Holding it at the same spot. Does not sound very different. It would definitely sound better than my 7100. So the sound isn't all that much improved. It might be like a different tone. All right, sorry. Let me catch up on the chat. Make sure you plug into the speaker terminal before you power on. What? Does the fan run at a constant speed, or does it need some sort of controller? The fans in these, I believe, just run at a constant speed. It gives a solid 12 volts, if I remember correctly. We might be able to check it with one of the other ones. Okay, we're booting. Rodville says, I haven't smelled a reefa in a while. Yeah. And the reefas in these are very insidious. They like to hide them in heat shrink tubing. So that's something. So this one is another one of the Ace Techs, just like the one that's in my 2CI. This is, I think it's the same part number. I have the cap map that I made for this in the video description, and also the GE one that we're going to work on later. So if anyone needs a cap map for these, make sure to check out the video description. You can see there was a reefa here, there was a reefa here. Oh, yeah, there was a reefa here, and reefa here. Yeah. So yeah, make sure to get rid of your reefas and check to see if they're hidden inside of there. Bacchus says, yeah, I find the Noctua noise to be a lower pitch. Yeah. Hello, David Starbuck. I am back. Okay, so let's crank up Snooper and let this thing run a bit while we start working on the other one of the other power supplies. We're going to go to logic tests. I'm going to shut off the RAM just because there's so much freaking RAM. And we're going to shut off the video RAM tests because I know that the video RAM is broken. All right, so we're going to let that go. Check back in on our resistance in a little while. We just got started here. Our resistance is at 10.25. Let's just double check and see what that looks like. 10.25. Let's go back to our spreadsheets. Yeah, spreadsheets. 10.25. And so we'll grab these and go over here. All right, so right now our temperature is a little higher, but we'll see what happens. We'll let this go. What are you doing? Oh, I left the modem test on. Stop. We don't want the modem test. Oh, the modem test is gonna do it. There we go. Okay. Okay. So our temperature is slightly lower right now. Math at this time of the day. Come on, man. You come to the Big Bad Bench, you got to be ready for spreadsheets. Okay, so let's turn on our soldering iron. Hopefully we will not shut off the breaker with just the soldering iron today. Oh, you can see our resistance is starting to go down. Okay, so as the heatsink, or as the fan is going, it's cooling it. Okay, so I still have one. I had to place an order because there's some capacitors, or actually, I guess this was the only capacitor that I didn't have currently in stock. Right down here, we've got a 100 microfarad 35 volt capacitor. That's going in there. We can hide on down there. Okay. Let that warm up. There's also this little daughter board. It's got a LM339, so I'm guessing this is like the voltage regulator dealy here. If Tech Knight were here, he could tell us all about this. But I recapped those, but I also needed to take this off just to get to that little cap down there. Tech Knight also has another good video out today. Lots of good videos coming out today. Love Saturdays for new videos. And I think Tech Ambrosia's streaming today for the first time in a while, which is very cool. There we go. A couple of little solder blobs on there. I guess I should pull out another Mac to test this one on. We don't want to disrupt this one. Jack 68K says, my spreadsheets don't normally involve natural logs. Yeah, I try to avoid natural logs whenever possible. I had to actually look that back up. It's been a while since I had to arrange an equation with a variable and an exponent. So yeah, unfortunately, based off of the equation, we had to do it that way. Ooh, Gutbum is finally doing a video based off of the eMachines computer that he's been trying to offload on me for years. Well, I guess ever since I met him, which I guess at this point is like years. Oh, speaking of, this is basically the 3-year anniversary of my channel. So, thank you all so much for hanging out with me over these 3 years. Like I've said multiple times, when I first started doing this channel, I anticipated maybe maxing out at about 35 subscribers. And so it's kind of wild that, you know, I find having like, we're getting close to 1,400 now, which is just totally nuts. Like, I'm honored that you would all spend any amount of time with me. Super mega cool. And I say it at the end of every stream, but I'll say it again. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be getting to hang out soon at VCF East. So III, DIY, and I are going to be sharing a table. We're going to have a bunch of computers showing video capture setups from the 90s. Mostly Macs, one PC. If I can get the PC working. But yeah, gonna see Ian Scott. Ian Scott's gonna be doing a talk about the Pico Gus. How cool is that? And just the regular old band of misfits. Okay. Did I say hi to I803866XX yet? Hi, Jesse. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, we're down to 9.95 kilo ohms. So what's this mean? What does this mean? Let's go back to our spreadsheet. Yeah, what does 9.96 mean? Oops, uh-oh. I did not type in the right area. Well, now something weird is going to be happening on my computer. Oh, man. Our temperature is going up. Our workshop temperature is still at 64 degrees. Yeah, this Noctua is not blowing as hard. Huh. What the heck? Oh, they do that. The system hasn't frozen yet. Okay, let's set this aside. Okay, now comes the fun part, and I'm glad Bacchus is here because he's the only one that knows how to put these stupid power supplies sandwiches back together. He always talks me through this. Let me just check those solder joints real quick. Yep, that all looks good. Okay, so I think the first thing we have to do, so this points down up here, so we'll set you aside for now. And I think this lives under here. No, this lives up here. Okay, that one's on the top. This lives down here. And this has these little tabby jobbies that go in here. Tab A, slot B, right in the side there. Boop. Got a ground. I think that goes in there. Let's leave that out for a second. Let's leave that ground out. Should have one snappy jobby, no, two snappy jobbies. There we go. There's one hidden behind there. There's one right there. Okay, that's in. We got a screw right here. Bacchus gets ready to scream at the screen. John, what the heck, bro? Okay, got that one. Okay, and then just always double check your connectors because, oh no, first we got to get this guy in. Okay, yep. Okay, see that? Oh, I did it wrong. Scream at the screen, I did it wrong. That screw has to go in over top of this little shieldy majig. Put it underneath of that. There's a little hole there for this wire to poke through. Okay, that's on that. That's on that. That one should get in there. There it goes. Our wires through. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Every once in a while we get lucky and things go back together. Okay. Now this one. that. We got a big and one of these guys. Put our nut on there. Now we got a little one. They might have wanted, no, that's good. That's good. I'll put that on there. Our star washer. Put that on there. So I'm sorry if I miss people calling out my name. So nowadays you can access the chat through OBS, which is a nice feature, but also it doesn't recognize me as being me. So I don't see the reference to my name, so I'll try to keep an eye out. Okay. So that one's in. Little holder on her. That's the official word for one of these drivers, right? Holder on her. Okay. Cool. Those are in. I feel like we're way ahead of the curve here. Okay, now, uh-oh, I think I might have done it bad. Gotta finagle this around the other board. Yes, just scream, John. All right, first, where the heck does this guy go? We have that wire going there. Bacchus, where are you? I need you. I guess this goes to one of these. Oh, yeah, that goes like that. Okay. Okay, then that is gonna go onto there. But we gotta finagle. Oh no. That's wrong. That's wrong. Where does this one go? Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm missing something obvious. Where does that 2-pin go? Oh my gosh. I might need to take apart another Ace Tech. So this should be there, and then the fan goes there. But what's this little guy? Oh, do I have another one of these somewhere? Nope, I have a Delta. I have another Ace Tech, but it's very different. Hold, please. Gonna need a 2CX anyway. Yes, I did stream the disassembly. I have one in my 2CX. Oh, which I did not. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I think this is the 2CX I got from Tech Night. It's missing a screw. Not my fault. And this one has a totally different build. The inside of this one is totally different. That is awesome. Oh, that's so funny. Don't you love standardized components? Let's see. Did I accidentally swap? No, that one goes to the relay. Yeah, no, these are all for the GE over here. Wow. All right, John, let's take that little dealie off. Maybe it's in there somewhere. You think you're doing good. You think the other one comes off the other half. Check 68K. So just start plugging it together and see what works. Maybe there's one under here that I missed. I love power supplies. Can you tell? That's true, Trina. It would not be a great stream if everything just worked perfectly. This thing I remember being a pain. This one also a pain. Nope. We're not missing anything. It's like should be a header over here that oh, there it is. Ah, oh, there's the header. It's hiding. The header was hiding. There it is. Oh, that's where it goes. Okay. Well, that solves that mystery. It only wasted an hour and a half. III DIY is saying that I haven't learned anything in 2 years. Well, part of the issue is that, like, these power supplies are interchangeable, right? They're a nice little, you know, they're all kind of the same form factor, and they all work in this computers, right? But they're all put together different. None of them are the same. Jack 68K. Yeah, 2 CI power supplies haven't changed much in 2 years. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if we can get it together this time. I'm not together, so why would I expect the power supply to get together? I think even within the Ace Tech, I mean, actually, yeah, I just showed you. Even among the Ace Tech, there are variations. And I think they all have the same power, or the same model number. I think Garth was doing some investigation into that. I think at one point during the other video, I think I remember Steve timing me because I had to, I think I remember putting one of the caps in the wrong way and the power supply exploding. Well, the cap exploding at least. Okay, that one's in. That one's in. Okay, yeah, and we can see now that this thing is here, this one, and it's facing this way, which again confirms that our fan out goes to that one. Now we just got to cram everything down in here, and hopefully it all fits. Do we think it's all gonna fit? It's a little springy. Oh, that's okay. We're not latched. Okay. There we go. I think we are generally back together. Trina, I have no concept of time when I'm streaming. Except for when I get real tired. Yes, that's the main reason to take apart these power supplies, Rudy. These have somewhere between 1 and 6 reefas, depending on the variation. Okay, that's good. Oh, got some leftover bits. They're fine. That's fine. Everything is fine. Yes, Bree Standard, they're spare parts. Okay, so now we should be able to take this and put that in there. These wrap around. I remember that. And super. Okay. Washers are superfluous. I have more of these screws around. So we've lost a screw and we've gained a washer. Ooh, chest timer. Yeah, that sounds really awful. I mean, there are times where I do kind of need to leave in the afternoon from doing a stream. Okay, that's slid in there. We're clipped into place. All right, let's get some electricity. And we'll do an initial bench test. Make sure our electricity is off. It is. Okay. Oh, wait, nope. Gotta do this. Get this thing up in there. Uh-oh, I lost the thing. There should be another one of these guys somewhere. I'll find it. There. Okay. Wait, did I put the insulation in the top? Oh, I didn't. Where did the insulation go? Oh, it fell away. Oh, the insulation. That, I don't think it would have touched, but you never want to chance it. Someday, I'll put together one of these power supplies and have it go smoothly. I promise. I'll start taking these apart, putting them back together off stream. CK has more faith in my recapping skills than my putting back together skills. Yeah, I'll show you other skills that I've been working on over the last month. If you haven't noticed, I've posted a few shorts showing progress on working on a board for III DIY. That has been an ordeal, but it's it might eventually pay off. That goes like that. That goes like, no, get back on the outside. You get back on the outside. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the blindfolded Ace Tech recap challenge. That sounds fun. That is torture. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. No immediate explosion. That's always a good sign. Let's grab some multimeter probes and look for our standby voltage. Shut this off. Normally, if you get these things back together and you find your standby voltage, then that means you probably have put it back together somewhat successfully. There we go. Oh, you can't see that. .06, there's our standby voltage. Okay, so that makes me feel okay to plug this in and see if we get a power up. Okay, actually before we do that, unplug my blue SCSI and grab a power connector. So we can check our voltages. I think this is right. Wait a second. Forget if they're cross or this next to each other. Boop, boop, boo. This should be 0 if my thing was correct. Yep. Okay. Good. Good. I don't think this is actually a Mac one. Let's see. Where's the Mac one? I think this is out of a LC, but they're the same. Okay. Let's grab some voltage. And we'll put our minus there. And let's do our 5 volt because the 5 volt goes to enough stuff, and if our 5 volt's bad, then we're not going to get a whole lot happening. Okay, clicked in. Don't know if that's actually touching, but let's see. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we got chime. We got 5 volts. We got 12 volts. Yay. Okay. There we go. Wow. So you can feel the difference in fan speed. I have this sitting, the 2CX sitting on top of the 2CI, and let me do a tissue test. It's got some violence. Yeah, that's moving it, but it doesn't feel, the Noctua feels like it's not. That's interesting. Huh. What's going on, Joe? Yes, this is one of my green SCSIs. I had a bunch of Picos, so I ordered my own PCBs for my blue SCSI, and I misordered them. Okay, this is good. So this is Tech Ambrosia's Quadra 700 power supply. One of them has been recapped, ready to go. Check says to rewire the Noctua to line voltage. They do have 24 volt ones. Okay, I'm gonna put a little note on there to remind myself that I've already done this one. Recaps. What is today? 3/22/25 BBB. All right, you are all here. You are my witnesses. You saw this work. Okay, now on to the fun one. So obviously, I mean, we looked at 3 Ace Tech ones today. One of them that she gave me is a GE. And you know, I've seen the Deltas, I've seen the Ace Techs. I've never seen a GE power supply before in an old Mac. So here's this one. Big model number there. I made a capacitor map for this one. It's also in the video description, so if you need one of those, check it out. Other interesting bit, look at the glue that they use for the hold down. So normally with these, you get like the super glue, or you get that, what's it called? The glue, the hygroscopic glue that starts corroding crap. And this one is a whole different mess. So the other thing about this one, the other power supplies had good quality caps and they were probably fine, but these are all TPOs. TPOs were some of the first to go during the capacitor plagues. And so, yeah, I'm not a fan of TPOs. I do remember someone doing an experiment at some point and showing that the ripple was actually better with a TPO than the other capacitors, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna turn on the Moo gun. So it'll be fun to see how this gloop comes off. So normally we can get a little bit of isopropanol, like with the hot glue, and you just put a little isopropanol on there. I probably shouldn't do that over top of my running machine, but whatever. It's running, it's isopropanol. And also, as someone asked me in one of my video comments the other day. Sometimes you say isopropyl and sometimes you say isopropanol. Isopropyl alcohol and isopropanol are the two different names for the same thing. Okay, so apparently this stuff is basically just hot glue. It came right off after giving it a little bit of isopropanol or isopropyl alcohol, or 2-propanol if you prefer. But yeah, they're all the same name, or same chemical, different name. Rodville says that they have glue sticks that turn that color. So maybe this is just a hot glue color that can get this color eventually. Yeah, we'll just throw these right on the floor. I need to clean up the BigBadBench. Oh yeah, I promised to show you what I've been working on. I haven't done any exquisite detail. Like, I've been recording stuff. I was thinking about making a video, but I don't think so. It's kind of gotten too complicated, and I do stuff without recording it. But this board that I've been working on for III DIY has been fun. So here we go. You can see that there's a lot of solder mask that has been removed. Basically, I found corrosion under all the areas where the solder mask has been removed. I stopped counting at 44 trace repairs. We are well above that now. I would say we're probably in the 100-ish. There's a bunch of trace repairs under the VRAM slots. I put new VRAM slots on there. And so the most recent short, I recommend going and checking that out. We actually got video out of this thing, which is wild. I got it to the point where it consistently chimed, but I came out the other morning and it was really cold in here, and I was like, let's just try to turn it on and see what happens. And video happened, and I was like, so what I think was happening is I started finding a lot of bad traces around this chip. This is the Antelope chip, which is basically just a RAM DAC. I think the LC475 also uses the same chip. I know the chip is good because I swapped it with the one from my good LC575. And basically I found, so there's a clock generator here. I found that clock was not making it over here. And then I found that one of the RGB lines was bad. And then I found another trace that was bad. And so when this thing was cold, I think that it was shrinking the board enough that it was making better contact with those. So I took that chip off, and when I did that, a bunch more of the pads in that area came off. And I think the pads are just so weak in that area. This is where most of the worst damage was. So a lot of these pads were just so weak that they were falling off and that they had like micro cracks. So I decided to just get rid of a bunch of the pads, create a bunch of new traces. And so you can see there's a lot of new little wire traces. I still have more to go. I'm sort of out of K files. If you've never used these are really great for going inside the vias and cleaning out the vias so that you can run repair traces in there. And so I've worn out my K files. I have a new order coming in. So yeah. It doesn't show up real well here, but basically I did the same thing to the CUDA chip. I basically rewired every pad underneath the CUDA chip because they were so weak. I found out that some of the power on issues was because there was a broken trace underneath the keyboard socket. So I put I fixed the trace and put a new keyboard socket in. Would a 575 work in a color classic? Sort of. There are some mods that you have to do to the chassis or to the logic board. I forget which, but yeah, you can get it to work. That's what's called the Mystic mod. Other side note, I bought a IIci logic board on eBay this week, and as we look at this thing, can anyone spot some missing components? So this will be fun to work on. I have a couple of IIci chassis. I don't know, I did streams on these a while ago that they were massively battery bombed, and so they just are not recoverable. Even this one, the power supplies in these things leak so bad that the juice comes down and corrodes these connectors. So I might have to change this up with another connector. But yeah, there's a lot of corrosion. Yes, these caps have been pre-removed. Yeah, so I have a bunch of spare boards for these, and I think it'll be fine. So we'll be working on this at some point and build another IIci. Hopefully just one to get rid of so that I have fewer chassis around. Okay, what were we doing? We were getting ready to recap a thing. So let's recap a thing. So that's been my fun with IIi DIY's board. This one has been a major challenge, but like when I got video the other morning, I almost pooped a little. Like I was in shock. So I think we're getting there. Okay, one out. Doesn't look bad. Okay. It's a bunch of hot glue strings. I don't know, GE. I'm not impressed with your quality yet. These are not stinky. And who showed up? Hi, Adam Baranek. Thanks for stopping by today. I hate when they bend them over like this. Drives me nuts. Have to use the tweezers. So yeah, one of the reasons that I decided to start streaming, well, one, it's Macintosh, right? So we gotta celebrate Macintosh. 3-year anniversary of my channel. And 3, I noticed that I was talking to myself while I was working. And I was like, crap, well, if I'm gonna be talking to myself, I may as well invite some friends to hang out. There's a little bit of juice there. That could just be flux. Yeah, these don't look bad. Let's put this back down for a second. There's not like major juice coming out of them. Hey, Chris Ruckert. Yeah, so like, at least when I'm streaming and talking to myself, it is kind of socially acceptable and makes me feel like I'm not insane. So thanks for being here. Hey, Callan. So, what have you missed so far? Oh, we should go back and check our spreadsheet. Oh man, look at this big solder plane. This is one of the reasons that it's hard to use the Moo gun in situations like this, because they just blob so much solder. It's got to use the Chungus iron. Oof. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. All right, let's take some of these other caps off. Okay, we got a big blob of stuff down there. This one just wants to fight me. Hey, socket wrench. Were you here earlier and I missed you? I apologize. All right. So I think what I'm gonna do, there's caps on this little side PCB. I think I'll take those off, that off. Oh yeah, and speaking of other projects, Gutbaum was nice enough to go pick up an LC550 for me this week, and I went and got that from him yesterday. So that's going to be a thing that we'll have to work on eventually. This thing comes all the way over to here. Yeah, this is kind of a mess. I'm not a big fan of what they did to these. Yeah, it's not even like it's not a ground plane, it's just a ground blob. What the heck? And there's like a little coil thing. It's gonna make it hard for me to get that off. Okay, all right. Yes, Rudy, I'm on Discord. Oh, okay. All right, and thank you, Dave, for saying that. That's very nice. Wow, okay, so look at this. Look at this. Look at that. It's like a current sensor or something mounted to this. What the heck is going on? That is wild. I've never come across anything like that. On one of these little boards. That is something. All right, well, I might not have to totally take everything off. Yeah, I think it's like an overcurrent sensor or something. Okay, but it's okay. We got it. We got it. We can take off those caps just by loosening the board. Okay, and then the other thing we can see here, that orange stuff is definitely flux. So this over here is flux. That's not an issue. All right, let's get this other cap off of there. Yeah, how dare they do something so inconvenient? There we go. Made that come off way easier. Okay, I think we're, oh no, we gotta take off these two little caps here. Can't go very far because we got this guy in there. Ow, that got hot. Oh, because that wasn't a cap, that was just a piece of wire. Okay. That's the cap. And again, I have the capacitor maps for both these power supplies in the video description. What time is it getting to be? Oof. Okay, that's out. Gonna have to go back to big iron. Oh, look at all the mess I'm making on my IIci. Oh man. Jack 68K might have blocked out recapping his GE power supply. All right, let's find those two. Those two were 22 microfarad 16 and 10 microfarad 16. $22.16. What do we got? There's got to be some 22/16. There's, or 10/16. There we go. 10/16. Oh, I gotta go find that thing. Wow, there's 40 people viewing? Holy crap. Thank you so much, people. Hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. All right, let me go grab this thing. And microfarad 16 is over here. And they have plus marked on the board. I don't know if I'll be able to show that since I've got wires dangling and it's very hard to focus on three-dimensional things like that. But see the plus, long leg, plus. Thank you, Rodville. Yeah, just keep clicking as many times as you feel like up on. That's fine. That's fine. Everything is fine. Okay. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I didn't suck all the solder out of that hole. So that's going to come back to haunt me. Come on. Why are you not melting? There we go. Ooh. There we go. Good job, capacitor. Good job, capacitor. Boink. 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 Okay. Little sideboard. Your little caps are in there now. Now, are we able to cram this back into its hole? Holes. Oh, look at that. That went swimmingly. Solder it up before it falls out. I only just did one. Make sure this is all seated nicely. It'll firm up. Now we'll come back and do the rest. So if you have intermediate size solder, it can help sometimes, or soldering irons. I only have Chungus iron and tiny iron. So, as Garth reminded me like 20 times probably a year ago when I got my new soldering iron, buy more tips, John, and I haven't yet. But the darn tips are expensive. Okay, I made a bridge there. Always check for those bridges. That is not a good bridge. Oh man, I made that one worse. Get out of there, bridge. There we go. Okay, and that one can stay there. Don't need that one. All right, now we gotta get these other guys out of there. We're gonna use the old school solder pult for this. I love the solder pult. Some people are not as keen on the solder pult. So, since Joe mentioned the Erlenmeyer flask, if you guess how many caps are in this Erlenmeyer flask, I will give you a blue SCSI, but you have to be at VCF East. So I'll have a sheet there. You can place your guess on how many caps are in that Erlenmeyer flask, and you could win a blue SCSI if you are correct. And actually, the closest. Somebody guessed the exact number last year. I was shocked. So I did this last year. It's not going to be the same number as last year. You can't guess, Rudy. You have to come to East. You have to be in person. No, I gave them a real blue SCSI that I bought off of Joe. I only give my friends the green blue scuzzies. And III DIY made an awesome joke out of that in one of his videos. I forget which video that was. Yeah, Joe, I'm so sure you need some blue scuzzies. I actually do kind of want to save all the RIFAs at some point and wire them all up. I think someone made a PCB at some point for something along those lines. These don't look bad, but you know, looks aren't everything. Oh, it drives me nuts when they bend them over like this. There we go. Good. I did have a number at one point on one of the streams, but I don't think it was the right number. I kept the number up there to remind myself how many I'd put in. Man, this is annoying. So we got like big leads that are bent over. That makes this kind of desoldering work a real pain. There we go. That one's out. Got one more. Oh, we gotta check our temperature. We haven't checked our temperature in a while. The Mac Classic. Okay. So everyone go watch that video and see the green scuzzy in action. I was trying to give them away. Obviously, post a link to that video if you have it available, III DIY. So if you see me hanging out next to a giant pair of black gloves, that will be III DIY. Again, we're gonna have a very cool table at East. I'm excited to hang out with him again. Oh, I unsoldered the wrong one. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is annoying. These things are fun. These caps are fun caps, let me tell you. Ugh, there it goes. Thank you, Tipo. All right, what else we got? Oh my God, there's more. Oh my gosh, there's these little guys. Oh, these little guys. There's still a dust bunny that I haven't got rid of yet. Get out of there, dust bunny. All right, we got to check our fan. All right, let's check our fans, our temperatures here. Okay. All right. 9.56 kilo ohms. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. That one. 9.56. Wow. So there we go. The temperature is still 64 degrees in here, so the ambient's the same. It's like a 4.5 degree difference. The Noctua is not cutting it in this situation. So part of the reason I wanted to do this is that Ian Scott did a nice little experiment with the Mac SE, and the Noctuas worked well in the SE. But they're not holding up here in the IIci. That's shocking. And not in the normal way that shocking happens here. Huh. Well, we'll check it again a little later. Let's go back to here and try to get these freaking caps off. I hate when they bend them over. Yeah. Static pressure, black magic. Oh, that one almost behaved. This one's, these are like crammed underneath a little heatsink jobby. Oh, geez. It's like they don't want us to recap this. Why would they not want us to recap this? Why didn't they take our feelings into consideration? Come on, GE. Sometimes I really would like just another hand. There we go. I don't like the looks of this one. There's a little bit of crust around those. Yeah, we're not real big on warranties around here. Ah, there you go. Get out of there, you jerk. Yeah, that one's a little crusty too. Not a big fan of those guys. Two more to take off here. We're getting close, people. We're getting close. It's kind of wild that all of the caps in this thing are TPOs. Like normally you see a mix of capacitors when you take things apart. Got a lot of glue holding this one. That one looks fine. Yeah, I know. So every once in a while, the real-time clock. Oh, look, they actually have a mix of glue here. What's that one? Got some silicone. Yeah, Elna's another one of those brands that I don't look forward to seeing when I encounter them. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever have to recap this. There you go. That's why you put a little isopropanol on your glue. Makes it behave way nicer. Okay, we are done with removing caps. Now we got to put them back on. Good thing someone made a map up. There we go. There's our map. Oh, you can almost make it out, maybe. There you go. Okay. Okay. So let's start off with two 10 microfarad 16 volt ones on this little guy. The PCBs here, look at this. Unlike most PCBs where they show you the dot for where the minus is, they're labeling all the pluses. That's kind of interesting. What did I just say? 10 microfarad, 16 volts. Please do, Eric. Everyone wants to know about adventure updates. Oh, little guy. Oh, little guy. For those that don't know, Adventure is the game that Eric has been working on for a while. I think the goal is to like have it out for VCF Midwest, right? Ooh, he's got a Windows 10 emulator version available. Neat. Where can people get that version of the game, Eric? Demo version. There it is. Got the link. Those two done. Gonna just dab up that little spot, clean it up, just because I don't like having the goo in there. Let's get rid of that goo. I'm excited that your game's coming together. Okay, 2200 microfarads, 16 volts. Gonna need two of those. I need 4 2200 microfarad 10 volts. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I cut these out, I try to make the long leg side long just so that I remember which side. Like when I'm putting these back in, you always know the stripe is minus on caps like this, but sometimes having that long leg can help you remember how to orient things properly. These caps are somewhat different size than the other ones. That's always fun. Okie dokie. So that's this little guy. This board's all done. Yeah, look at the difference in size. Oh, geez. Oh, I launched a cap. A little bit of a different size there. Yeah, let's get some of this other gunk out of there. That's very cool, Eric. I look forward to futzing around with that game. Alrighty. Come here, you cap. Alright, so this one has our 2216. Bunch of 2210s. Just be careful. Oh. Yeah. So here's something. Check out C13. What's missing from around C13? Yes, all things DG. You win. Now, that plus theoretically could be the right one. It's pretty far away. And actually that is correct. So I just double checked my image and I could see the stripe. So that one goes that way. Stripe towards the heatsink. Sometimes, I noticed in one of my, I think the reason that I exploded a cap in one of the other Ace Tech power supplies when I rebuild it is because they didn't mark it, because it was on the negative voltage. And I wired it up so that the negative, or the minus would be along with all the other minuses, but for that particular cap, it should be wired up the other way. And they didn't mark it on the board, which one should go where. So that made me explode a cap in that situation. No harm, no foul. Well, I mean, no permanent harm. My ego. Yeah, sometimes I remember to take pictures. Luckily for this one, I did take pictures. So again, check the link in the video description for the capacitor map, and you can see in that capacitor map where the stripes are to say which things should go where. Making progress now. Sometimes taking the caps off is the hardest part, especially when they bend them over like that. I mean, like, what the heck, man? What are you thinking? Well, I guess it has to do with assembly, but whatever. They're just not thinking about me and my needs. Okay, so now what do we got? Now we got these two that are hidden under this knot of wires. That's fun. Okay, what are those? 220 microfarads, 16 volt, 220, 16. $220. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we're going to use a 220 35. So sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it can cause issues. But I think this situation will probably be fine. So generally the higher voltage, the higher the ESR, but I think I bought low ESR caps for this, so. Long leg, stick it down in there. This should be a little bit easier because these caps are smaller than the originals, so it shouldn't be as big a pain in the butt. And it looks like these are in different orientations from one another. Getting close now. Getting so close. So this is one of the reasons to not use big soldering irons like this. Sometimes you get a little solder residue where you should. Just be careful about that kind of thing. I noticed that in Tech Knight's video today, the person that was doing their recap before they sent it to him had little bits of solder everywhere. It was kind of a mess. Okay, so now I think we're down to our primary caps. And what are they? 470 microfarad, 200 volt. Caps are getting expensive. Also, like now that Mouser's putting on their website, these caps will be subject to extra tariffs. Thank you, Orange Clown. Thank you for your tariffs. Just trying to help out a friend, but no. Okay, I think that's it. I think we have done all of the freaking caps in this power supply. Now, hopefully Bacchus is still awake. Help me put this guy back together. Again, I think we gotta do the bottom bit first. Got some screws. Got this thing. Okay, so here's something to keep your eye on. One of these says relay, one says fan. There's this that goes to the relay. This is your relay one. Okay. Oh good, Bacchus is still here. I don't feel so alone. Oh, wait, I forgot to trim a rod fill. Yes, more Tetris. Sandwich, PCB, sandwich Tetris. I don't know, Bacchus can't have his own theme song. I don't even have my own theme song. Although, you know, some of us have money just like burning holes in our pocket that we can hire Daft Punk to do the music for our videos. I DIY. So these are some funky screws. Tech Ambrosia's here. Hello, Tech Ambrosia. We rebuilt one of your power supplies today and tested that, and that looks good. I'll do some more testing. This is the second one. This is the GE. So this one's a little weirder. Slightly more weirder. More weirder? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, yeah. And then this one also gets screwed down. Yep, that's gonna go like that. Hey, Ron's here too. Hello, Ron. only 2 standoffs there. Yes, there are only 2 standoffs there. Okay. Now see, III DIY, you should pay Ron to do your background music for you. Daft Punk has enough money already. For those of you that haven't seen III DIY's new video yet, I'm just giving them a hard time. I was like, holy crap, he's hit the big time. Do you still have that thing, Ron, where people can request you to like do their answering machine messages or like birthday wishes and stuff? I love that. Okay. So, Tech Ambrosia, the thing that you might be interested in, and I guess Ron too, because I think Ron has had some feelings about this before too. The Noctua is not cutting it inside of our IIci. We'll go back and check the spreadsheet in a little bit, but it was not doing it. Okay, so made sure all of our wires are all connected in there. This goes on the outside there. This goes on the outside there. This goes on the inside here. And then this has to come up through here. So Bree standard, the voltage should be 12. I don't think these power supplies are smart enough to do like voltage regulation, and just from listening to them, I don't think there's any pitch change as things get hotter. Look at that. We got it together. That's together. I didn't cry this time. It's a little tab here that's got to snap up into. And we theoretically have a couple screws, maybe 3. Yeah. And I mean, in reality, I didn't hear much of a sound difference. I mean, I think the pitch is slightly different between the original and the fan that's in here. I think I'm probably gonna do the same experiment with my 7100. I won't do a full stream about it. Maybe I'll do a short or something, but I think my 7100 fan is about to die. And so, well, it had already died. When I got the 7100 power supply, so that was a system that Gutbaum gave me that was so yellow and so disgusting on the inside. The power supply was more baked than I've ever seen a power supply. And like everything was discolored, and it was because the fan had totally seized. All right, look at that. We got that all back together. That's nice. than that. This one has a Panaflow as opposed to the NMB. Slide on down in there. And I went through and cleaned the fans out for these before putting them back together. I think what we're going to do is feed this around this way. There we go. Look at how nice that is. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did before. We'll plug it in, look for 5-volt standby, make sure that this is off, plug this in. Okay, I forgot to do my countdown, but I gave it electricity and it has not exploded yet. So that's a good first test of your power supply. When you plug it in and it does not catch fire. Or make your shop lights dim, like with the G4 power supplies that I worked on when I first started my channel. Okay, so let's check for 5-volt standby. I think it's this one and this one. And we got 5-volt standby. Look at that. Okay. We are on a roll here. All right, so let's grab the IIci. Or, sorry, this is a IIcx. With our green SCSI. Every IIci floppy drive that Gutbomb has ever worked on had a beard. That's excellent. Okay. Let's go to 5-volt. That's our red. Go to there. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now this could just not making a connection because this power connector is not great for them. Let's grab a different power connector. Three, two, one. There it goes. There it goes. 5 volts looks good. 12 volts is a little high, but that's good. Sweet. Okay. So good news, Tech Ambrosia. I haven't destroyed 2 of your power supplies. And again, to get these out, I like to slide my tweezers down in between that little gap in there. Over on this side, and then just slide. It helps if you put your finger in the electrical socket, not in the wall, in the back, the IEC connector. There we go. Okay, well that was fun. So again, if anyone needs the capacitor maps to these 2 things, they are in the video description. Let's mark up this one before I forget. I'll put this one on the metal. It's easier to clean off if you want. Come on. Come on, marker. what is it, 322.25 BBB. So the GE was full of TPOs. Every cap was a TPO. The Ace-Tech was chock full of good caps, and actually, I mean, if it weren't for the RIFAs, I would think the Ace-Tech would have been fine to keep working for forever. But the RIFAs throw that out the window. All right, let's check this one last time. Okay, so we're 9.73 kilo ohms. Let's check our spreadsheet. Yes, spreadsheet. 9.73. We'll call this one end of stream. So that means, yeah, we're like 4 degrees warmer. Our internal temperature in the workshop is still 64 degrees. Oh, of course, now that I say that, it goes up to 9.78. Whatever. Not too far down. 9.78. So yeah, you missed the math earlier. We showed you how to, when you have exponents with a variable in it, how to use natural logs to solve for that. No, actually, we didn't go over any of that math. But this, I don't have a thermal probe that would work for inside of a power supply, so I used a thermistor with my multimeter. And so that's our thing. So this is sort of where we're at. It's about a 4 degree difference between the Noctua and the original. This one's the original. Orig. And this one's Noctua. There you go. We got data. Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it. Oh, now it's changing again. Here's me talking about it, and it keeps changing. So, in other news, make sure to check out the shorts that I posted, talking about my exploits with III DIYs, cursed LC575, and all of the trace repairs that have been going on with that one. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that by next week. I have a plan for another stream next weekend. What was my plan going to be for next weekend? Oh, I think we're going to recap a monitor. I haven't done a monitor recap on stream. And so Gutbomb gave me one of those crappy 14-inch monitors, the Apple Color whatever, the bubble screen. And actually a week before that, someone gave me one of those for free. So I have 2 14-inch crappy Apple screens, and I want to use them during VCF East. And so I want to make sure that they won't explode during VCF East. So I want to take those apart and see what's on the inside. I haven't been able to find out a whole lot of information about them. So we'll pop those open, maybe do a recap, make sure they won't explode during VCF East. And also I got a 9-inch color CRT TV that I would like to try to use to convert a SE30 into a color compact Mac. So we might take that apart on next week's stream just to see what's inside there as well. So I want to thank you all for hanging out today. Lots of folks, make sure to hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. If you happen to get this afterwards, leave a comment. Tell me how crappy my stream was. If you're a Trumper, go F yourself. Leave a comment about that too. So anyway, yeah, it was nice to be back. We will, I don't know if we'll be able to do it every week because my brain is still not where it should be, but it was good hanging out with y'all, and I appreciate the heck out of you, really. Have a good week, y'all, and I'll see you next weekend.